you've thrown it out there a few times, the missteps and the learnings, and this one's the backstage pass question, right? You've got a lot of experience. Is there a very significant learning you had from one of them big bad stinky missteps?
Hey, yeah, I would say, wow, I had all these things to say and now they just left my head. But I would say the biggest one, which has actually been a strength of mine, but I say it has been a weakness of mine as well.
Okay.
It's my strength of making relationships.
Mhm.
I have no problem talking to somebody, and because I've been to different places. Matter of fact, Steve Vanley, I met at the little
Oh
ACQ
yeah.
we had here at Phil Verify. He's from Charlotte, and at first I was intimidated, like looking at the, I was like, oh, I don't know, whatever. We said a little greeting or whatever, and I saw his thing. It said North Carolina. I said, hey, I used to live in Winston-Salem, and then boom, and then he was a ball player. He
Oh
got into construction in his early 30s, and then now we're just
yeah,
clicking. Now I got a guy that I know.
Yep.
We made a good relationship, and he's like, hey man, here's my information. Just hey, keep in touch, man. It'd be good to hear from you like down the road. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And that was a good example of, man, like I've made so many relationships, and I go back to working in baseball, coaching
Mhm.
college. I met ball players that were like, hey man, yeah, like when I'm done with my season, man, I like to train or whatever. Like, and we hit it off, and I was helping this guy that was a really top prospect catcher. And we chopped it up one day, and he was like, man, I love to work with you. And I didn't follow up with him. It was the beginning of the season. He's like, hey, my off season, I'll be back. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Out of sight, out of mind. I never kept in touch with the guy, whatnot. I go to text him like 9-10 months later. He got a different phone. It wasn't him no more. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and it just goes back, and it's happened with me meeting coaches or scouts, people who are in some pretty high positions. I'd be intimidated, and I'd be like, I'm not going to be that guy. It's no, they gave you their information so you can be that guy.
Yes. Yes.
Dude, you could have been this dude. So I look back, and God bless that I've had my road that I've had, and I've had my bounce backs from missteps.
Yeah.
But it's stuff that I've learned that I look years later, and there's a guy now that he's one of the top scouts in the Atlanta Braves organization. And he told me 5 years ago, hey man, hey, hit me up, man. I got this team I think you'd be really good for, blah, 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 to coach with. If I would have built that relationship and followed up, like I'd be close. I might be right next to that dude. I might be his right-hand man.
Yeah.
But instead I ate that. And even back when I was playing ball, I had an opportunity to go try out for a Mexican Winter League team.
Okay.
Mexicali. I had an opportunity, and the guy was like, hey man, listen, that hit me up, come over here and do XYZ. And I was like, and it wasn't like try out with the team. It was a tryout over here that was going to lead me to get an opportunity with the team. And I fumbled it. I put my energy toward other things. All of a sudden, when I wanted to hit him up, it was too late. It was one of them situations. And really tough misstep at the age of 23 years old. Like when you're still trying to get into you're really trying to crack into pro baseball. It's like you got an opportunity. You actually have somebody who's in the system.
Yeah.
Guys that play on this team were guys he referred to these guys. You could be one of those guys.
Yeah.
And so painful misstep there, and just having relationships. So it's almost like, hey, prime example. You meet a girl, have a great night, great dinner, click, everything's well. Yeah, let's definitely do this again. And then you never hit her up, even though you really liked her.
Yeah.
You just didn't do anything about it. And then 3 months later, you want to be like, hey, and she's like, sorry, I got a boyfriend. And you're like,
I do.
You fumbled. So it's definitely things of that realm, but it's one of those, it's that one saying that's like, hey, they're not mistakes if you learn the lesson.
If you learn from it. Yeah. No, that dude, powerful, because I don't know anybody that hasn't missed an opportunity due to inaction. Like you don't take that step, man. I was in New Orleans. I just got back home from New Orleans, and maybe this one's gonna be backstage pass, so I'm gonna throw it out there. Yeah, last time I was in New Orleans, bro. It was a long time ago. I was partying, anyways, and we're at this one club, and the bartender or waitress, she would come around and with shots, right? Bam, bam. And you want a shot? I was like, yeah, give me a shot. And she spun me around. I don't know how, because she had like this tray with shots in it. She spun me around and bam, gave me a shot. And I was like, whoa, I'm in love. I'm like, hey, let's dance. And you know how you know act the fool. Anyhow, she comes back around with another round of shots. Like, hey, and she says, for real. She's like, it was like time stopped. The music went silent. She says, hey, I get out at 3. And I said, my friends are over there. I choked, bro. I just like, oh, my friend. Like, are you serious? Fumbled it. And like, it's the opportunity when we don't take action, especially like what you're talking about, when you've been invited. Hey, bro, here's my number. Give me a call. Let's connect. I got this thing. And we have this. I don't know about you, man, but for me, I used to have this like head garbage that says, nah, man, like they're too busy or they got other stuff going on. They got, you know, all this. And really, it's because I'm afraid of being rejected. It's just like you said, going out with the girl, had a good time, enjoyed her smile. It was awesome. We had some laughs. And then I don't call her back because I'm afraid she ain't going to answer. And I'm like, it's for me, I can't speak for everybody, but for me, there's that fear of rejection. And it ain't that hard. A text, phone, hey, man, hitting you up. How you doing? That's it. Leave a voicemail and they get to respond back. It's the other way. And now, like, I'm out there a lot when I go talk to schools and talk to universities and stuff for about careers in the industry or anything. If they'll just give me time, I'm gonna talk that. And I used to always give out my business cards, right? And people ask, now I just put a QR code on the slide deck or whatever. But people are like, man, aren't you afraid? Like, you giving all these? I was like, no, I'm not afraid. Like, when I say, call me, here's my information, I mean it. Like, what if everybody called? I'm like, that would be a great problem to have. But the fact is, very few people ever do. Very few people, like I'm talking less than 1%, will actually get my contact information and move on it in the future. I love the deal. I stole your cheat code, bro. Remember how you sent me your contact? I did it. And this week in New Orleans, we're at the conference. And there were a bunch of people. I'm like, here, give me your number. I'll just shoot you my stuff. And super fast, super easy. But the point is, what I've tried to practice now, like I like running a whole bunch. I'm out walking. I'm in my head a lot, especially when I'm running. I'll think of, man, I need to talk to. Oh, I wonder how doing it. And I'll just text them right then and there. Hey, man, I was thinking about you. What's going on? And hey, girl, what's going on? How's the kids? Whatever it is. Because if I don't act on that, for me, it's an act of self-betrayal. And those actions of self-betrayal pile up and steal joy from my life. And I'm not okay with that.